Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to today's live stream. So, my name is Liz. If you're new here, you've just stumbled upon this video. My name is Liz, and I talk about immigration. We talk about so many things: lifestyle, life in America. I talk about my journey moving from Uganda to the US and all these amazing, amazing things. So, if you're one of those people interested in that kind of content, go ahead and subscribe. Find the link in the description and subscribe. So today is very unique. We are talking about the DV Lottery 2022. So if you applied last year for the DV lottery or the green card lottery, the results are coming out on Saturday the 8th this month. So watch out for the results. And we are going to just peruse through and talk about what to expect after you have won the DV lottery and what steps you should take as a winner of the green card of the diversity visa program 2020. So listen in very carefully. If you have any questions, you're going to ask to be answered. So we have great guests, BM Scholars. He has always been a guest on my channel. I've been a guest on his channel. So he's going to be answering most of your questions because he's so knowledgeable about that, and he's also one of the winners. So I'm going to put him up on the screen, and then we can begin the live stream. So if you have any questions that you want to answer in particular, please write them in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, please remember to subscribe. And you don't want to miss on this great information. So I'm going to bring him on the screen, and then we can begin. So I have a few questions written down here, and these are from my previous comments, previous people asking me, what can I do if something like this happened? Please go ahead and ask me. So today is when we're going to answer all those questions. But mainly, our point today of this chat is we are talking about the winners, the results coming out on Saturday, May 8th, of the people that applied last year. So if you applied and among those, it's best you listen in. Send it to a friend, share. If you're watching me from Facebook, share to a group, to a page, whatever. If you feel somebody already applied and needs to know all these details, then it's best you do that. So let me bring him on. Thank you guys for joining. I see you, Daniel. I see you, Kevin. I see Asuman Kusima. Thank you so much. We appreciate. So let me put him on the screen. Welcome, EBM Scholars.
Thank you so much, Liz. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So many people are already joining in. They're already excited to listen to all this great chat we are having today. So I'm going to, let me see if I can... I think that's much better, so it doesn't make us look all fat. People will start to think we are fat. Okay, so I am going to go straight to the point. So the results are coming out. The DV Lottery 2022 are coming out on May 8th this month. So everyone is expecting, everyone's anxious, everyone is looking and doesn't know what to do. If it's your first time applying and you don't know where to start from, please settle down. EBM Scholar is going to be answering all these questions. So first of all, let's begin from knowing when to apply. In case somebody is watching has never applied, we are going to talk about the time to apply, to expect to apply, because there is a period where you can apply and the forms are available. Then during the other months, you're not able to apply. So can we just, first of all, introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, and I go as EBM Scholars, and I'm also a YouTuber, and I do a lot of videos about life in America, in particularly scholarships, immigration-related issues, and overall on how to succeed in these countries, because we come from different cultures. So that is what I've been able to share. But also for those who like to write books, to guide them on how they can be able to prepare and upload their books on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and all other kind of website to become published authors like myself. So that's what I've been able to do for many years in general. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Now I don't know where to click.
I look like a very big, nice home.
Because you do. Okay, so thank you so much for that brief introduction. So briefly, let's talk about, because I get all these questions every day. So let's talk about when should a person apply to participate in the DV lottery, and what is a diversity visa program, first of all, because many people will watch, they don't understand what it is. So let us first introduce them to what it is, when to apply, and what to expect, and the requirements, briefly.
Yes. When we talk about the diversity visa lottery, we usually talk in abbreviation, DV lottery, green card, whatever, all those kind of abbreviation. People don't understand what is that in general. So in a very brief way, the diversity visa lottery is a lottery, first of all, to get what is called a green card. Is a card, yes, it is green, that is the nickname, but is an opportunity for someone to be given the permanent residence status of the greatest country on the planet Earth, the United States of America. So that is overall. So it's opportunity to be given permanent residence. So there are different ways of getting permanent residence. One of the ways of getting permanent residence is through work, through marriage, through asylum, through religious way, whatever. But also one among the ways, there is a family, and there is another way is the lottery. And this lottery is organized by the United States government through the Department of State. So there is a particular website, not any website you can be able to use to apply. There are so many scammers around. The government website is any website ending with the domain .gov or .gov. So www.dvprogram.state.gov. DV stands for Diversity Visa. Program is a program. State means the Department of State, like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then the government at the end. So that is just in a very brief way. When you win, the application, first of all, is free of charge. You don't pay even a single dollar when you apply. When you apply, yes, if you win, then there are other processes. Yes, the process involves money, but the lottery application is free of charge. But when can you expect to apply? You are supposed to apply each year. The lottery is in the month of October until the month of November. So it starts from the first week in most cases of October until the first week of November. But the actual dates usual are given out on the middle of September. So in the middle of September, they'll put exactly dates. Usually it starts from the Tuesday, but sometimes it's going on Monday, Wednesday. So for instance, last year, people who applied last year, they started in October 7th, and the deadline was November 10th. It doesn't matter whether you apply on the first day or you are the first person to apply. It doesn't matter whether you are the last person to apply. All people have the equal opportunity. They don't do anything until the application is complete. But you can ask me another related question if I don't want to talk too much. But another question will be, what is the nature of the application? Is online application. There is no paper application. There is no sending application on email or on something. You must go to that particular website to be able to apply. Because if you go other ways, you are going to apply to the scam. If you go to dvlottery.com, .net, .org, .whatever, all those are fake. You have to know the specific site, which is the legitimate US government website, in order to apply and not to be scammed. Each year, many people are scammed. And you can ask someone how to apply, but I advise people to apply on their own. Because when I'm talking about the scammers, there is this tendency. You ask me to apply for you. I apply for you. I check the results you have won. And I've known each year more than 5 people I know. They are told, I'm not giving you the confirmation number and the case number because you have won until you pay me 10,000 or 20,000. If you don't want it, they don't give you. Or they tell you, until you get married to my brother, so that go and marry my sister, so that you can come as husband and wife. So if God wants you to win, you will win. Not because I'm in America. If I apply for you, you are going to win. It's all about God. It doesn't matter where you are. Your eligibility doesn't matter in terms of the geographical location where you are. whether it's EBM or Liz is the one filling the form for you, it doesn't change anything. You are eligible because you are Ugandan, you are eligible because you are born in Kenya, you are eligible because you're born in Cameroon. That is what is eligibility all about.
Thank you so much. So I see so many questions, and guys, we shall answer all of them. We shall answer one by one. So be patient with us as we go through. We want to just take step by step and bring somebody who's watching, probably has never applied and wants to apply. We want to help somebody like that. And if you have applied and you have questions, we shall also come to you, okay? So don't feel like we are ignoring you. Keep the questions coming. I'll put them up on the screen. So first of all, I want to ask, what are the requirements of somebody to apply? Because I know there are countries that are eligible, and then there are countries that are not eligible. If that's the word, if that's the correct word. So what are the requirements of somebody that wants to apply to win a green card to the US? What must you have? So let's briefly talk about that, so that if somebody is planning to apply in October this year, they know what to expect.
So those who are going to apply this October 2021, first of all, they are applying for the DV 2023. People should understand that way, because usually that the year confuses people. Because when you apply in October, the results will be coming May 2022. The interviews will start in October 1st, 2022. And remember, in the government year, fiscal year starts October 1st. So for the government, the new year will start on October 1st. So the first day of the fiscal year of 2023 will start on October 1st, 2022. So those who applied last year in 2020, they applied DV 2022, which means the results are coming out this Saturday, which is May 8th. Then their interviews will start on October 1st, which will be the first day of the fiscal year 2022 until the end of the fiscal year, September 30th, 2022. So eligibility, let's go to the eligibility. The eligibility is divided into two main items, or three if you want to put it that way. Number one is the country of birth. People get confused. Don't confuse your citizenship and the country of birth. For instance, right now, I'm a US citizen, but I was born in Tanzania. Let's say we are applying for the DV lottery, but I'm not about to apply because I'm already a citizen. My eligibility is not because I'm a US citizen, the country of birth. So if you are born in Uganda, but now you are a citizen of Kenya, you apply as eligibility as Ugandan, the country of birth, not the citizenship. That's number one, eligibility. Number two, it comes to the education and or work experience. In the application of the lottery, there is only education part. There is no where you can put work experience. You put education, primary. When you go to secondary, did you finish? And they say, did you get a diploma? So diploma in American English, it means is the certificate. When you finish your secondary school, whether it's ordinary secondary school or high school, they give you that completion of certificate. Or you finish bachelor degree, there is a transcript and there is a certificate that you have been awarded the bachelor degree in political science at the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, or from the University of KwaZulu Natal, or from whatever Kenyatta University. That certificate is called a diploma. So when they say we need to high school diploma, it means completion certificate of high school. So you need to have a high school. But even if you're primary, there is no problem. Even if you're PhD, there is no problem. But if you don't have high school, when you win, you have to prove, you have to show the documentation that you have qualifying work experience. By qualifying work experience, it can be paid work experience or it can be unpaid work experience. That is you need to know. That means what you need to do is they are going to look what kind of training you have. Let's say you are a mechanic. What training do you have to get to become a mechanic? Did you go to school, to the driving school and all this kind of mechanic school? How long was the training? And then you are working at the workshop, you are working at the garage, you are working at the auto shop. how complex, how big it is. Is it just a garage nearby a corner store where just the two people are coming, or is it a big company? You are a chef. Are you working you are cooking? Are you cooking the food in a small home restaurant, or you are working at the 5-star hotel? And what training do you get? So they are going to look all those kind of things. But I usually tell people, do whatever it takes. Start volunteering. Starting doing things for free. That means that will also be able to help you. Not just for the lottery, just for your life. If you apply for a job and to do something to your community. I don't want to see people are graduating high school or bachelor degree. Someone is 25 years old and doesn't have even 2 years of work experience. That's so sad. So those are the too many work eligibility. But also there is one item I said I'm going to mention about it, is about the issue of there are some of the countries are eligible to apply and some of the countries are not eligible to apply. I want to put a disclaimer. At the moment, there is no any country on the travel ban. And even if there will be travel ban doesn't stop you from applying. It stops you from getting the visa, basically. But let's go to the countries which are eligible. Why these countries are eligible and why other countries are not eligible. The countries which are not eligible because in the last 5 years, the native of those countries have already received immigrant visas or have become permanent resident. In the past 5 years, if your country has over 50,000 immigrants, by immigrants, I don't mean students. By immigrants, I don't mean people are coming to work. By immigrants, I don't mean those people are coming as religious or visiting visas. Immigrants in American context of immigration are people who are coming to America to live here permanently. Not in your head that I'm planning to go to America to study and I will stay there forever. That is your mind. It's not about that. If you go to the US Embassy, they give you a lottery visa, which is an immigrant visa. That means you are coming from day one to live in America on a permanent. You are given a green card. That is immigrant. So if your country, like there are people who have been given green card by marriage, green card by family sponsorship, green card by let's say by all this, any type of green card you have been able to get from your country. Those people, if they reach 50,000 in the last 5 years, that country is going to be removed from applying. In Africa at the moment, only one country has reached that number, is Nigeria. But I made the video in my channel, EBM Scholars channel, about there is a big possibility Nigeria and other countries like China, whatever, India, the countries which were not eligible because of having meeting the maximum capacity of 50,000 in the last 5 years, they will be possible eligible in the upcoming DV 2023. Why am I saying that way? Because from when the pandemic started, from April 22nd to be exactly, to end of March, there was a travel suspension of all countries. No person was given the green card. So for that particular case, if no one has been given a green card for the past almost 13 months, and even now with the pandemic, very few people, there is a big backlog, very few people are getting the visas. So almost from that April last year to September this year, obviously the number will be decreasing from 50,000. So that cap will be maybe 40,000 or 30,000. For that particular case, Nigeria will be back into application, and so many other countries will be back to be eligible to be able to apply. So if you're in Africa, don't worry. At the moment, it's Nigeria, but Nigeria will be able to be back, and other countries also there will be the possibility of being back. So those are the eligibility to be able. So you'll be able to prove education. You'll be able to prove work experience. Once you win, you fill the visa form, which we call Department of State form number 260260. When you fill that form, then you will put exactly the name of the school address, the year you studied. That's what you're going to do. But in the lottery application, you just say, I have primary school, I have bachelor degree, I have master's degree. But you have to put the exact level of education once you win. Exactly work experience. I work at company A from this day to this day. The name of the supervisor is this one. The address is this one. I work from this day to this day, company B. This is the information. And when you go to the interview, you are going to show those evidences of work experience and also the evidences of education which you have attained.
Thank you so much. That was detailed, and I hope somebody has understood the process, the requirements. We talked about when to apply, the requirements, and also now we're going to talk about the different circumstances after you have applied, what can happen. So I have a major question that I'll begin with that I have had. I wrote it down and I also see it in the comment section. So what happens to somebody that applied and is not living in the birth country where that person was born? Say I'm living in Japan, but I was born in Uganda. So once I win, where do you do the interview from? Like what happens from there?
That's a very good question, and it confuses so many people. Why am I saying the good question? As I said at the beginning, the disclaimer is applying for the DV lottery doesn't matter where you are. The eligibility will be based on the country of birth. So, but it doesn't matter where you are. You can be in Tanzania, but you are born in Cameroon. You can be from Ghana, you are born in Ghana, but you live in the US. So there is two ways. If you apply and currently you live, let's say in Japan, when you apply the DV lottery, they will ask you a question. There's one question: where do you live right now? If you say you live in Japan, by default, if you win the area where there is what we call the first notification letter. When the first notification letter, they will put it where you will be able to do your interview. So even when you go to fill the DSC 260, the visa form, Department of State form number 260, immigrant visa form, when you fill that form, it will put the default interview location, the address where you currently live. So the country where you live now will determine where you'll be able to do your interview. But if you have moved, because you applied, for instance, you applied in October last year, and you were in Japan, right now you are in Ghana, or you applied while you were in Qatar, now you are in Tanzania, or you are in Kenya. So what you need to do, when you are going to fill the visa form, you will change the location of the interview. As I said, default, it will put the address or the location where you are. If you're in Turkey, it will put it in Turkey. If you're in Japan, it will put the embassy of Tokyo, Japan is the location. Unless otherwise, there are few people like Ugandans. In Uganda, you cannot process the immigrant visa in Uganda. You have to process in Kenya. So if you are in Uganda, by default, it will put you, the location for the interview will be Nairobi in Kenya. Don't ask me why Ugandans have to do the interview in Kenya. I don't know why you still have the embassy in Kenya, in Uganda. I don't know. So that's number one. Then number two is when you win, you are outside of your country. You have two options. You can do the interview in the country where you are, or you can go back to your home country and do the interview there. There is no requirement. You must go to your country of birth to do the interview. I usually advise people in this way. For instance, if let's say you are a citizen of Sierra Leone, you are now in Dubai, you are in the country where you must get the visa to go there, and you are married, you have children, but the country where you are working, you don't have children, you don't have your spouse there. I usually advise people it is better for them to go to their country of birth to do the interview, to join together with their family. Because if you say you are doing in Dubai, you'll go into expenses of bringing your wife, bring your husband, and bring your children over there. But what if they are denied the visa? You cannot just in the middle of it, oh, change my location now to my own country. So just easier way, if you have the family, it is better to do in your home country. It's just advice. Some people, they say, oh, you can do 2 interviews, you can do on this location and you can ask your family to do another location. Yes, it is possible. But with the pandemic, to get into the interview is a matter of luck to reach your number. Why do you need to put extra stress to tell for them to start scheduling another interview for your children and your spouse in another country? So better to do all at once and all do at once, that one. But if you are in the United States, you applied the DV lottery, you are Ugandan, but you live in America, there is another process. You don't need to fill. You can fill the form DSC 260, and the location for the interview you say you do in the United States under what we call adjustment of status. And then there is another form you have to fill, is called Form I-485. There is these two forms which are different. Any form starting with the DS, Department of State. Department of State is the one which is in charge of the embassies and consulates around the world. So DS forms are for embassies. But because you are in the United States, you are dealing with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. That's what you are dealing with. So the forms under the United States Citizenship and Immigration, their forms start with I. So you'll fill the form I-485, adjustment of status. It's the same form if you get married. The same form I filled when I got married from my visa as a student to move to green card. You fill the same form. If you win the lottery, you are adjusting from whatever the visa you have to become a green card. If you are working, whatever it is, you are adjusting. So you fill the form, is called the adjustment of status. But if you are here and you have extended the time, you have been here illegal, you are illegal here in America, you win the DV lottery, you will not be able to be given the visa. I know two people, one is Kenyan, one is Tanzanian. They won the DV lottery, they processed everything, and they were denied because they are out of status. That is the reason. But if you get married, no matter even if you're out of the status, they will give you green card. So you are allowed to process, is your choice. But if you're in America, your family is in Africa, yes, you can say your family to go over there, but it's a very complex process. I usually tell people, just try, if you have no problem, you are legally here, you can travel there and join the family. But if you are single, process everything wherever you are. There is no problem at all.
Thank you so much for that. That sheds a lot of light and gives a lot of information to people that are watching, because I saw another question saying, if the person is in America, what happens? And you just explained it. You just said if you're out of status, you will not get the green card. But if you're in status, you're probably in asylum, you requested for asylum, or you're married, or you're still visiting, your visa is still valid, then you'll be able to adjust because
Yes.
you have a current status, you're not illegal. If you're not illegal and you have a current status, then you adjust to a green card. I hope that is clear.
You mentioned about asylum. I want to add something about that one. If you are currently applying for asylum, the case is pending, it takes longer, even 2 years sometimes. And you have applied for the DV lottery, you have won the DV lottery, you are allowed to process the DV lottery while the asylum is still pending over there. If you finish and you get your green card here, you decline that the other person because you have already have green card. So you are allowed to do that if you are already asylum. Or sometimes there is one case, there is one lady, her husband is here under H1 visa, and the company was going to sponsor to get the green card. But at the same time, they have won the DV lottery. The question was, what should they do? Can they do both of them? Can they do one first and two, whatever? But most of the lawyers, they don't say much of this one, but there is nothing wrong to process both of them. But the easy way you can try to delay because the employer will be able to sponsor you even if you can tell, can we do after 3 months? They can wait while you are waiting for this one. So, but this one you cannot wait much. So those are the few things. Sometimes you can have those opportunities and happen that way.
Right.
You become green card holder.
Thank you so much. So I also get a question asking about the affidavit of support. I know you've done so many videos about the same and you've said whatever you've said. So I just want to also shed some light on the affidavit of support because I know it was scrapped off, but give us a brief recap of, because people still ask and they want to know, they are confused. So what do you say? Is it still on? Is it not valid?
First of all, let me start with this one. Affidavit of support is a form starting with I. Let's start with that one. What does that mean? Form start with I. That form is not applicable to any person who is not in America. Let me start with that one. Because why is not applicable is in different department. Any form start with I is under United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. And that agency is within Homeland Security. Once you get into the plane after arriving into the United States, the day you get at the airport, you are out of the Department of State hands, you are under the Department of Homeland Security, like Minister of Interior or Home Affairs, kind of that nature. So why the Department of Homeland Security tells you to fill another form with I for embassies, they will never tell you that. I want to make sure that, first of all, we need to understand that one. That's why the forms, where they introduce what we call it, the public charge form. And that form starts with the DS. Any form with the DS is applicable for people who are outside the United States. And that form you'll be using to the embassies to come here in America. I want to distinguish between any form we start with the DS and the form start with the I. DS, Department of State form. Department of State is in charge of embassies and consulates around the world. So that form you'll be using when you go to the US embassies. I, and the form we start with I. That's why if you go I-130, I-134, I-132, I-485, I-whatever, all those kind of forms are applicable while you are inside the United States. I want to distinguish these two things, first of all. Let's go back to the original. Before what we call the public charge to be introduced, there was one thing. There was one thing called affidavit of support. That affidavit of support is applicable to people who are in America. I filled the affidavit of support while I was adjusting my status. When you get married in America, your spouse has to prove that has enough money above the poverty line to be able to support you, because your spouse is sponsoring you. You need to know that. If you get a job, you get green card by work, by employment, your company is sponsoring you. If you get a green card by marriage, your family, your spouse is sponsoring you. If myself, I'm a US citizen, I play for my father, my mother, they are going to get green card by sponsorship. The V Lottery is not a sponsorship program. If it's a sponsorship, is the US government is sponsoring you. So green card lottery is not a sponsorship program. You are not sponsored by individual. So me as your host, I'm not your sponsor. That's why even before Trump became president, before the public charge being introduced, if you go to the Department of State website to look what documents are required by KCC and what documents are required by the US Embassy, when you go to the US Embassy, there was no mention of public charge, or there was no mention of affidavit of support. Green card lottery winners, that form has never been one of the requirements. Yes, some of the embassies used it to ask you. It can be maybe in entire Africa, maybe 2 or 3 embassies or 4 embassies, or certain consulate, they might ask you, can you give me the affidavit of support? But the affidavit of support doesn't apply to green card lottery winners, because it's the US government which is sponsoring you, is giving you green card, and not individual like me marrying someone or applying for my father. So it's not a sponsorship. So I don't need to prove that I have the money. So because of that, but the government under Trump administration said, we need to be sure if you come here, you are not going to be a burden. So they introduced what we call the public charge. So public charge was a version of affidavit of support. Affidavit of support was applicable for people in America. So they introduced the similar thing outside of America. It's called public charge. But both public charge was objected by the court, was removed by the court since October last year. So there is no public charge. And even if you go right now to the US government, that form is not available in the official documentation. If you want to download it, the form has been removed. They'll tell you. And the affidavit of support has been removed also within the US by the administration. For that case, there is no affidavit of support. There is no public charge requirement. What you need to be there to prove, which will be very tough, to prove about your education by original certificates and If you don't have enough education, you need to prove the work experience that you have enough training and enough work experience in order to come here in America to meet the standard, but not the public charge, no affirmative support. And if before I know I'm answering in detail, but I want to add something. When you ask or you are funding for the host, don't say I'm looking for a sponsor. A host is just the address. If you ask me as your host, you are asking for my address in the DS260 form. They ask this way. They don't ask who is your host. They ask you, which address are you going to stay in America? The address where we'll be able to send the social security number and the green card. Put the address, even if there's no name of EBM, Ernest Makulilo, I don't put the name. You put the address is one whatever at Richmond, Belton, Missouri. That's what they needed to know where you're going to stay. As long as it's not the address of the Walmart, it's supposed to be the address. Yeah, because some people can put any address there. They will send the card to go to where?
To Walmart, and nobody will receive it.
So for that particular case, the host, when you ask the host, is just the address where you're going to stay. So you can say, I don't have if they ask you, who is your host? If you are renting the apartment from someone, I have this address, I'm renting the apartment. You are allowed to do that. But don't get confused like you, I'm having the host. Let me support you. Your host is just the address. It's not
it's not your sponsor.
Mm-hmm. The person who is supposed to fill the affidavit of support is a person who is a US citizen or a green card holder, not anybody.
Right.
But the person who is able to fill the address is your host. Even international students can fill that form because it's giving you the place to stay. Just accommodation. Mm-hmm. That's all. So don't confuse the two between the host and the sponsor.
Right. Thank you so much for shedding so much light on that, because that is a frequently asked question also. And I'm very actually privileged to have you on the show today to answer all these questions, because whoever will ask me, I will give them a link. Please go back. We discussed this before. Anyways.
The advantage of this is this one. It limits me to talk too much. I'm talking too much still, but if I'm
it's okay. You know, somebody made a joke. Is it Daniel? I think he has been watching you. So when I said we're going to be brief, he said, I'm not sure about that. So anyway, so I want to quickly go to give us an estimate of how much somebody is expected to pay after they have won the lottery. I mean, the results are coming out, so people have to prepare financially and also mentally. I mean, if you have won, you have to prepare for the ticket, you have to prepare for all these coming expenses. So what is the estimate? I know there's medical, then you have to pay for the visa fees, then you have to buy a plane ticket. So roughly how much is somebody looking at? We are looking at an individual, and then of course with family, they will figure out. But let's look at one individual who is a single person.
That's a very good one. First of all, when you check the results on Saturday, they will say this way. Your entry has been selected. That means you have won the DV lottery, and you'll be able to download the letter, PDF letter. We call the first notification letter, first 1NL. When we say second NL, second notification letter is the one which is the information to go to the US embassy for the interview. So the first notification letter, you have been selected, you have won the DV lottery. It will tell you the following things. Congratulations, you have been selected, you are randomly selected, blah, 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 blah. Being selected doesn't mean that you are going to be given the visa. Meaning, don't sell your farm. Meaning, don't start selling your car that I'm going to America. I want to put that way clear. There are still other things which can make you not to be even called for the interview at all, or going to the visa interview and be denied the guarantee. So I'm going to mention those kind of things so that you don't get upset with the US government for the things you didn't know. So there are costs associated, but the good thing is this, those costs are not all at once. So you don't need to start like the results are on Saturday. Let me save for ticket. Let me save for the medical. Let me do this one at the same time. You still have much time. The costs are being split into different situations. So we are going to do the cost for one person. But again, I'm giving you an example. If you are in Africa, for instance, your case number is, let's say, 75,000, 100,000. Don't start making jollof, pilau, rice, and the celebration at your home that you are going to America, because you might even not be called for the visa interview. So once you know for sure, possible you are going to come to America, you have won, and the case number is, let's say, is a good case number, lower case number or medium case number, not too high case number. These are the following costs you need to know. Cost number one, which you must have, is the medical fee. The medical fee, that one you'll be able to pay to the physician. And you don't just go to the clinic or dispensary nearby across the street. At the US Embassy, there are lists of physicians or doctors or specific people who are eligible, who have been given the license to do the medical guide according to the guidelines given by the US Embassy or the US government. How much does the medical cost? The medical cost, it depends, but most cases is about $400 to $500 per person. If they are children under the age of 10, it can be maybe 120, 150, depending on the age, because some of the things they have already been done. Some of the things are not going to be done. But if you are adult, expect at least 350. So usually tell people, think about 500 is the maximum. But most times 350 to 450 in most cases. Most of the countries, even in US, that's the rough amount. So if you have children, if you are two, husband and wife, times 2. If you have a child, put 200 on top of that, like for each child around that. So for one person, let's say 400, that is the starting for the medical. When you are given the letter that you are going for the visa interview, they give you at least 4 to 6 weeks, because some people, they might be out of the country, they have to come, they have to do the medical. So that time you'll be able to start continuing to collect, finding the money. So the first one is $400 for the medical for one person. Then, 6 weeks later, you are going for the visa interview. The visa interview, there is a visa fee. The visa fee is $330. That visa fee doesn't care how old you are. You are 1 day old, you are 150 years old, you are all going to pay $330 per person. So that is another, so add on that. So you have 400 medical, you have 330 that fee, which makes it to 730. Then, after the visa interview, they are going to tell you, you are going to be given the visa, wait for 1 week or 2 weeks, you will be able to send you the passport, or you can come to collect the passport with the visa. At that day, they will give you a piece of paper with the link at the embassy to go and pay for what we call the USCIS fee, which we call just the green card fee. The fee where you'll be able to get the actual card. This is not the green card, this is a passport card. But the green card is like this one, but all of it is just green. In the front, it's not white, it will be green too. That's why it's called a green card. So you'll be paying for the actual card. The card is conducted. So because you'll be coming to America, now they are transferring you to another Department of Homeland Security, where you'll be paying this fee to get the card. The fee for this card is $220. USCIS fee, $220 per person. It doesn't matter whether you are 1 day old, it doesn't matter whether you are 50 years old. So 400 medical, 330 visa. Then there is a fee for the actual card, the USCIS fee, 220. So that will be 900, almost 950 up to that. So just at least 1,000. But the visa, the USCIS fee, you have the option. You can pay before you come. You can pay after arriving in America. You have that option. It's up to you. But to pay before you come here, it makes quicker or faster once you are here to get the actual card. They will send the card within 2 to 4 weeks. You'll be able to get your actual card. But even if you don't have the actual card right away, because you have the immigrant visa, you'll be able to get the social security number right away. You can arrive today and tomorrow apply, and within 1 week you'll be able to get it, and you can start working before even you get the actual card. The card will be able to have, but you already information is into the system once you get the social security. So even if you don't have the actual card, so you can, if you don't have the money, you can pay once you arrive here. So up to now, you have almost 950 to 1,000 the cost per person. That is excluding the ticket per person. The ticket, again, if you are 2 years old below, you have the option to be sit on the lap. You don't need to have the flight ticket for you. But as individual, if you are 2 years old and above, you have to pay the ticket. Is adult, every person has to pay. So I cannot tell you exactly how much the ticket, but the ticket can be into two ways. It depends on when are you traveling. If you are purchasing the ticket today and you are traveling next week, the ticket will be a little bit expensive. If you are getting the visa, let's say in June, you are traveling in the June or July, August, because it is the summertime, ticket will be very expensive. But if you are traveling in winter, it will be more affordable. If you are traveling again from East Coast, East Africa versus West Africa, or from Philippines or Japan to America, all those will be able to change depending on amount. But in general, most of the flight tickets will be between 1,000 to 1,500, depending on which airport you are going, depending how long, like if you're purchasing a ticket today, how many days in between you'll be able to travel. Again, it depends on the season. It depends on the airline. If you are traveling with the Western company like KLM, you are traveling with Swiss Air, or you are traveling with the British Airways, versus you are traveling with Ethiopian or Qatar or Emirates, or you are flying with Etihad. So it depends which company are you flying with. But the ticket can be 1,000 to 1,500, especially for people from Africa and Asia. People are coming from Latin America, it can be 200 to 500 US dollar, depending on which country you're coming from. So those are about the amount you need to have. So per person will be 2,500 to have. But that is excluding the amount of the money you'll be able to start in America. You must have the pocket money. Even if I'm coming to live to Liz or to EBM, you're coming to live here, I'm your host. You need to have money to start your life. You don't need to come here. Even if I'll be able to pay for the food, you need to yourself, okay, transportation before you get to the job. So that will depending if you are single, you have the family. But if you have 3,000, that will be more than enough. So 5,000, if you have, will be able to cover the pre-cost before you come and the cost after being in America to have smoothly, to get a job, to start, and even you can get your first vehicle for 1,000 and start surviving without any particular problem. You are on mute, Liz. I cannot hear you.
Sorry, this village style in me. So thank you so much for all that information. It's really great information and it's accurate coming from somebody that has done the same process and knows everything. And I'm glad you read so much. You're always updated. So somebody kept asking, I know you answered this earlier, but in case he's still watching. So he said, what happens if he won the green card in America and he's still in status? Does he have to go back home? I know you mentioned he doesn't have to go back home unless he wants to do it. Like it's up to him. So Daniel, you don't have to go back home. So there's many questions. I've seen so many, but they're talking about the current status of how do I say? Let me get the question is actually here. I have a question regarding chairman of immigration visas. Charlie is pointed out that the number of selectees for DV 2021 was very low as compared to the previous years. So will that affect well, yeah, I put the question up there.
Yeah, I can read the question. The number is saying is pointed out the chairman of immigration visas saying that the number of selectees of DV 2021 was very low compared to the previous years. So that I want to clarify what the person, I haven't heard the person, I want to clarify that one. But the number of applicants and the number of selectees are two things different.
Yeah.
The number of selectees are the number of winners. The number of applicants, yes, the number of applicants was low compared to 2018, 2017. Okay. The number of applicants, why was it low last year or the year before? And when we say low, it's not 50 people. we are talking last year, for the DV 2021, the number of applicants was 6.8 million people. We are not counting the derivatives, we are counting the main applicants, was 6.8 million. And that is low. It is low because the introduction of the passport requirement made it difficult for a lot of people to be able to apply. It used to be the husband applies as the main applicant and the wife applies also the main applicant, but you might find out maybe the wife is the one with passport, the husband doesn't, so one person will be able to apply. So before the introduction of the passport requirement, the number of applicants was many times minimum 15 million, 14 million. The lowest was 12 million. So the number of applicants is higher all the time, but the number of selectees, while the number of applicants is lowering down from 17 million to 14 million to 12 million, then it came to 6.8 million as applicants. The number of selectees, the number of winners still is higher. Last year, the DV 2021, the number of winners was 133,000 winners, almost 2.5 times than the maximum of the number of visas to be issued. The number of visas to be issued is 55,000. The winners is 133,000. 2.5 times than the capacity of the visas. That's why when you go and open the first notification letter, when you open the first letter that you have been selected, you have become the winner, they tell you, don't start celebrating. Like the random selection, it means there are so many people, the number of winners is higher than the number of visas. So fill the DSC form properly so that you can increase the chances of winning or getting the visa. Because there are so many people who have been selected. So even this year, the people are going to be selected will be more than the number of visas. So for the past 10 years, no year has ever have less than 10,000, less than 100,000 winners. So each year for the past 10 years, the winners has been more than 100,000 going forward. So it has been more than 2 times than the capacity of visas. So that's why I tell people, when you win, check the first thing to look, while you are celebrating, you are the winner, look on the case number. If your case number is 125,000, don't celebrate at all. Just get ready for the next application for the DV lottery. They will never reach that number to interview you. So that is what I want to make the clarification on that.
Okay. I think he said, what I mean after being selected, the number of people who applied for DS260 was low as compared to the previous year. So that means the number of current regretted. What do you have to say about that?
So that one, there are some people, because first of all, when the DV lottery results are there, it doesn't mean that all people who have won, they're going to check the results. There are some people who are dead. Some people, they forgot everything. They do not know. Someone applied for them. Someone already forgot if they applied for them. So there are some people who don't check the results. That's number one. There are some people, I know even for the DV 2021, someone has 95,000 African case number. They told me, I don't need to waste my time to fill the DSC 260 because I'm going to, where am I going? They're not going to interview me. Why should I waste my time to fill? So there are some people, yes, they don't fill at all because of that. There are some people, maybe they know for sure, I don't need to go to America at all. For instance, I'm giving you an example. You applied, you were just a normal person. Now you're a member of parliament. Why should I go and get a green card while I'm already a member of parliament in my country? So some of the situation might change to someone and you think, I don't need to go to America. If I go to America, or you got a job as security, intelligence in your country. You are in Tanzania, you become TIS, the security, like a CIA version of here. You are in Uganda, you are intelligence, you got that job, and you want the DV lottery. Will you process? No, you cannot process because you'll be a traitor. So there are so many reasons why some people don't fill the DSC 260, but don't be excited like, okay, it helps people with higher case number to be having that chance. But remember, don't worry about other person, just worry about you. and pray to God. When you check the results, you are the winner and your case number is not too high. Yes, I mean, as a human being, you will pray other people even to go to the visa interview and be denied the visa so that you can be given that chance.
Still muted. I'm not muted. Okay, good. So thank you again for that, for clarifying for Asman Kusima. And thank you so much for joining us and asking those relevant questions. So another question that I normally get is, so when people win the green card, they are, of course, financially, they are constrained. So they always ask, can I go to America first and then my family can join me? So because of finances, we are not able to buy 4 tickets, 5 tickets. And also another question regarding that in the same line is, if I have 3 wives and I'm feeling DS 260, can I fill all my 3 wives and all my 15 children? So I know you have the answers, so go ahead and answer that.
So let me start with the wives part. That is the easy part. In the DV lottery application, let me start with that one. In the DV lottery application, there is a question about number of children, how many kids you have. If you put 5, there will be 5 spots coming up. You can put the information. On the marital status, there is no number of wives you have. There is no the number of husbands you have. No. In the marital status, by default, is 1 spot to fill. There is no putting 2. There is no putting 3. I know I have so many people who follow our channels are in Kenya. In Kenya, the constitution allows more than 1 wives. Traditional people are allowed to more than 1 wives. Religious Muslims are allowed to have 4 wives. So in case you win the DV lottery, you have to remember the wife you put on the application for the DV lottery is the one you are going to add in the DSC 260 as your wife. So if you have 4 wives or 3 wives and you put this one is my wife, because you have to put 1. Why? Because in America, it is illegal to have more than 1 wife. It's illegal. You are not allowed. You are illegal to have more than 1 husband. It's not allowed. So if you say you are married, the person you put on the DV during the application of DV lottery is the same person who will go to add in the DSC 260, the visa form. So you choose whatever for that, whether it's number 1, whether it's number 2, whatever is up to you and how you are going to arrange it. That will be able to come with. Then let's go to the question about the issue of wives. I mean, the issue of the finance. What if you don't have enough money to come all at once? Would it be a good idea for you to come in America and down the road your family come? I can say yes and no, but I'll give my personal opinion on that. Let's say you are the DV lottery winner. Let's say talk about DV 2021. When you fill the DSC 260, they'll ask you the question. If you have children, you put the children, your wife, whatever, your husband, you put the information there. The question will be, yes, I will be coming along with them in America. Oh, no, they are not accompanying you. If they are not accompanying you, you don't need to fill the DSC 260. You cannot add a derivative as a separate page for them to be given the visa. If they'll be coming with you, you add them as a derivative and you can be able to come with them. There are 2 options. Number 1, people are allowed, you can do the interview on different dates. You can do the interview, let's say, on March, and your spouse can do the first applicant first has to do the interview, the principal applicant. Your derivatives, your spouse and children can do maybe another time. Is allowed that way. But remember, it has to be within that fiscal year. If you are the DV 2021 winner, remember the deadline for the visas to be interviewed is September 30th. So if you get your interview on May 20 or on June 1st, you do the interview, remember your spouse and children must be interviewed before September 30th. If it goes after September 30th, they don't get a green card. With the pandemic, that is a gamble you are going to take, because to get the interview at the moment, most of the embassies are not fully operational. They give few interviews. So why do you want to take the risk of doing interview separately? That's why it is tough, because if you say I'm doing in June, and why should we care more about your spouse while there are other principal applicants that haven't even been given the time to go to the visa interview? So you might give the opportunity for them not even to get the time to be interviewed, especially during the pandemic time. So that's the cautious you need to have. Another thing is this way. Yes, there is financial constraint, but the risk of them not to be given the visa, to be out of the time, is higher, and it might cost you more money, more time, and everything. I'm going to explain in a bit. So my advice usually is this one. If you have one, even if you have 10 children, you don't have enough money, do whatever it takes. If your dream is to come to America, sell your farm, do whatever it takes. Borrow the money from friends, because if you have a wedding, they can contribute. Do donation, sell your phone, sell any equipment you have, get the money, come all at once, get the green card visa, get the ticket together, come in America. Get in America, get the actual card. After having the actual card, then tell your family to go back to their country if they want them to go there. But if you come here, and by that September 30th, they don't get the visa, what will be the impact? The impact will be, you as a green card holder, you have to file for your spouse. A green card holder is fighting for the spouse. It will take 3 to 5 years for them to come here. A green card holder fighting for the child, it took 3 to 5 years for them to come here. And you have to use the attorney. So you'll have more money to pay the attorney fees. And it will cost 3 to 5 years without meeting. They cannot come here. They can apply as a visitor. But if they apply to come as a visitor, remember, they can be denied the visa because they have to prove the assets. They have to prove that when they come here, they're not going to disappear to become illegal. So overall, the risk of not coming together is higher than coming together. The risk for the money, the risk of everything. The green card lottery is the only opportunity for you to come with your spouse. Is the only opportunity for you and your children to get a green card at the same time, right away. If you don't get it at the right time, it can cost you a lot. That's why I usually tell people, if you have won the DV lottery today, you find you on Saturday, you have won the DV lottery, you check the results, you are the winner. If you want to get married before you go to the interview, before you fill the DS-360. Because that will be the only chance your new wife can come with you as a green card holder too. But if you say, let me marry the person, I will marry you later after coming to America, that marriage will be in so much trouble, because you will marry the person, but remember, you are not an American citizen. You don't possess American citizen, the passport. For that case, the level of prioritization, the level of the prioritization, the level of preference, the wife, the husband, the children of the green card holder are not the first priority or preference of the United States government. The first preference is the US citizen first. The spouse, children, wife, whatever, the US citizen will be given higher priority than you as a green card holder. So don't take that risk. Do whatever it takes. Borrow the money, steal the money, get corrupt, whatever you do, go and borrow the money from every institution.
You can't tell people to go and steal.
It will cost you a lot if you come alone. And after all, let's give an example. Your case number, your interview is July. And if you come alone, what does that mean? If you come alone, they have to do the interview by September, end of September, 2 months. What if they don't get the visa? The other thing is this way. You can get all the visa at once. Once you get the visa, you have 6 months to travel to America. Yes, the husband can come in America, or the wife can come in America alone and put things in order. and then go back or send the ticket for them to come again within 6 months, before the 6 months. But don't make the opportunity, the mistake of them not even to get the visa. It will come to hunt you, and your kids will hate you. If you are my wife and you go there and you have to stay 2-3 years eating cassava, being the farm, and you are just having good time in America, man, that will be another terrible marriage. And if I'm your child, I'm going to hate you for what you have done.
Thank you so much for that, and you're so humorous. So I see questions of Mohanji. He's saying he has been doing yearly program courses online. Should he include them on the education page on the DS260?
You can add them, but if you have degree, even if you don't add them, it's not a big deal. If you are high school or below high school, yes, those kind of certifications are important, because they help you. That's what they brought is not just yearly certificates. That's what I usually tell people. You need to take even online courses. At the moment, I posted like last year, I posted the video. I can make another video of the free courses from Harvard. So online courses, you just take it from Harvard. There are courses from Princeton, free online. That means you go to specific training, you take it for 3 months. That will be able to help you, even if you didn't finish high school. The problem of people, they don't, especially my colleagues in Africa, we don't trust education online. We say, oh, these are scams. We don't want to volunteer, because I can wait for 2 years, chilling, waiting for the job. Do something. Start writing your book. You can go to the US Embassy. What do? I'm a book author, and this is my book. Yeah, it's work experience. What do? I'm volunteering at the primary school, helping the kids not to have bad behaviors, helping the kids to study hard, not helping the kids not to do the mistakes I did while I was in primary school. I go there twice per week, or I go there 2 times in a month. That means you are doing something. Is a work experience. You get the letter from the headmaster, you get the head teacher, you get the letter from orphanage center. You are going to talk to the kids. So all those kind of things will be able to help. Instead of just randomly certificates, what do you do after having the certificates? That's the most important. Because certificates, they give you certain kind of knowledge. What do you do with that knowledge? Put it into the work experience now.
So, yeah, so someone is asking if he's a student and has NGOs, so who recommends him?
Let me ask the question. If you have the NGO, you are not the only one who is working there, unless otherwise it's a pocket NGO. In the organization, let's say you are the founder and the CEO, chief executive officer. There is someone there, can be a board, because if you have NGO in Rwanda, I know the laws in Rwanda. I've been 3-4 times in Rwanda, and we have partner organization in Rwanda. There have to be a board. Board member should write a letter or recommendation like this so-and-so has been working here as a founder, and I'm the board, because board is in charge of the organization beyond the CEO. The board can fire you even if it's your own organization, because the board can vote that way to fire you. That's why Steve Jobs was fired by Apple while it is his own organization, before he came back later. So you have the organization, you have the NGO, you have the board. Can be able, one of the board member can be able to write on behalf of the board. That would be number one. Also, there are some of the staff can be able to write. They can be accountant. Okay, this is so and so. This one is my supervisor, is the boss supervisor, and this is the rank. He's been doing 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So even the work, the recommendation letters, not all the recommendation letters, even when you apply for jobs, not all recommendation letters should come from a superior. Some of the recommendation letters can come from people you supervise, and they say, okay, this person is my supervisor. He's a good person. He's a hard worker. He's a good leader, showing you the. So someone can put a recommendation that to prove that you are working in that organization. So that will be one of the way is work experience. And I would like to congratulate him, Muhangi Brighton, for being a student and also doing something in the community, having organization, NGO. There are so many people that have finished their degree. They are chilling, waiting for the job from Kagame or from Tanzania or from Museveni. I'm waiting for the job. Or what other thing they do? They waiting to do betting. That's what they do. Betting is not a work experience for the development visa. You can put a work experience if you are going to date a woman. You can say you are foreign. You can say you are foreign investor. Whatever you want to put yourself, or your financial analyst of the international market, you can put those crazy stuff if you want to date a woman. But you cannot use betting as a work experience at all. So volunteering, owning something, and not just NGO. Even if you own, let's say a store, you have registration from the government. From registration from the government, it says who is the founder. So if you have the registration, you don't need to have a letter. You can have a registration. I'm the owner of this one. So Bill Gates, for instance, or like, let's say, for instance, as EBM scholar, if I have the registration to show that I'm the founder of this one, I don't need to have a letter from another person working from EBM to prove that I work there. I show like this is the registration. You see, I'm the founder of this one. This is my, I own this one, and this is the organization is doing 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't need it to have every time you have a letter. You can have other like registration to show you are the founder or the CEO, the rank. All those kind of things will be able to help you. But because you are a student, you are college, even if you don't have the work experience, you can put the work experience. You don't need to have the evidence of every single item because you have already a degree or you are currently a university student.
Thank you so much. And then he's also asking, since he's graduating next year, so during the filling that form, should he say he's currently a student or? Yes,
at the DS 260. First of all, let me start with the application of the DV lottery. In the application of the DV lottery, if you are a university student, there is a form, there is different levels. The level is called some college courses. That means you are still in college doing some courses you haven't graduated. Bachelor degree, undergraduate, that means you have completed. Some graduate, that means you are doing some master's courses. Doctoral, then some doctorate courses, that means you are doing some coursework or some doctoral you haven't completed yet. So those are some of the whatever. Once you win, when you are filling the DSC 260, if you are a university student, you are going to put there currently, what is your current status? They can say you are working, or you can say currently I'm university student, University of Rwanda, or University of Kigali, blah, 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 third year, whatever. And you'll go with the evidence to show that you are a university student, whether the letter from the student services, from the department which deal with the students, and you can have the ID, you can have your transcript, even if we call provisional results some countries. So even if it's not a full, you haven't first year, second year results, you are in third year. So the first 2 year results, go with them to show like just I'm still continuing, I haven't dropped out. That will be number one. But I can add another question or answer something related to that. People asking, if I'm the college and I've won the DV lottery, I've done the interview, should I quit my college? Should I come here and continue over there? That will be another question people are asking. And let me answer that one too. Number one, I tell people, it depends on what you really want in your life. Because I don't want to make you do something and come to regret later, or not do something, come to regret later. But number one, never stop coming to America because of the degree. And the degree you are going to get it is from a university which is 10,000 number in the world ranking. You are coming to America, in my opinion. I don't want to say like America is everything, but in my opinion, we usually say that if you live in town, someone who lives in Kampala, even if he doesn't have a degree, is better than someone who is in the rural area with a degree. So if you live in America, even if you don't have a degree, the complexity you are going to live the life still will be better off than something. So
yeah, and you can also do so many other jobs even if you don't have a degree, because many people here don't actually have degrees. That is what I have come to notice. But the life they're living is relatively okay. You're not left behind because you did not graduate from university. You are still able to have opportunities to work with, especially if you have a particular very unique skill. if you can sing, if you can do something, you can thrive, and that shouldn't be a big deal.
So, for instance, for him, he's just going to graduate. So,
Yes.
if let's say you're in the final year, what you need to do, process everything green card. Once you are given the visa, you have 6 months to come to America. So, when within 6 months, obviously your semester will be on leave. So, come to America. While you're on leave, you have at least a month. Within a month, you'll get the actual card. Then go back and finish your degree if you want to finish your degree. And then after 6 months, you come back here, you finish your degree and come here. Yeah. I don't advise you to completely deny everything and come here, assuming that, yes, you can come here and transfer the courses, but it is so expensive here for the courses. So why do you need to come to do 1 year degree? I mean, you finish your final year to pay 10,000 or 15,000, while you can come here and you can go there to finish 4 months and just finish. You can do that, or you can put it on hold completely and come here to do something else completely different. But don't stop coming here because, I'm at the University of Dar es Salaam doing political science. Man, America, political science. Degree in Tanzania, America. That is no brainer for me, going to America.
Thank you. And so I have another question. So do you know what the high school diploma equates to in terms of, say, like in Uganda, we have senior 4, which is usually, I don't know if that is junior high. I don't even know how to equate it here. And then we also have senior 6. All those are before you go to a university. So in Uganda, I don't know the education in Tanzania. Oh, they are the same. So the high school diploma on the devolutory form, is it senior 6? Senior 6, not senior 4.
Senior 4 is not high school because it's not 12 years. This is the entire world. High school, 12 years of school. It can be 13 years. Tanzania is 13 years until you finish school. Okay. You do 7 years primary school, 4 years senior, whatever you call it, S4, which is ordinary secondary school O level. 4 years, which makes 11 years, and then high school, which is A level, 2 years. So you go 13 years. But we got to compensate that one with university. Most of the degrees are 3 years. So if you add that one, you go to 16 years. If you go to Kenya, they do 8 years primary school. Then they go 4 years, which is kind of like O level, but it's called high school, is 12 years. They finish high school. But when they go to college, they do 4 years. So in the end, it's 16 years. So if 14 years, we are doing 13 years in primary school and ordinary secondary school and advanced school. When you go to college, from primary school to high school, I have the same 16 years for bachelor degree, like someone in Kenya who don't have that, who do not have that. So in simple way, whether you're in West Africa, wherever you are, high school education, it is 12 years of education. Not repeating the class, you would say, because you can be going because I'm repeating. So this is my year 5. No. What we say is just that without you repeating. And some people, they can jump the class. We consider that you if you jump because of your smartness, still consider you covered that class of your smartness. So you are still. And then there are some people, I'm giving you an example. They went, for instance, in Uganda, they did senior 4, whatever senior 4. That means they finished O level, like in Tanzania. They didn't get good grades. So they didn't go to advanced school. They didn't go to high school. What they did, they went to study on their own and take the national examination of Form 6 or Senior 6. Still, that one is considered as high school because you have taken the national examination for Senior 6 or high school or advanced level to complete high school education. So even if you didn't go to the class per se, you took that exam, and that exam is towards 12 years.
Okay.
So that is how it is.
That makes sense. And that answers my question, because I was contemplating, is it senior 4 or senior 5? And then another thing is, so many people will try to fill the form, but it will not give them the confirmation number. They will not be able to submit. What are some of those mistakes or some of those things that stops them from submitting the actual form to enter the DV lottery?
Number 1 is misconception of people. They think that if you apply on the day 1, you are going to win. So day 1, day 2, everybody is filling the form on that day. The website is overwhelmed. In 2016 or 2017, the application of that for that, it was for DV 20. It was for DV 2018 or DV 2019, whatever one. The website crashed completely. I remember I applied for people. Until the government, they had it to, because that was the last year before the passport started, until the government had it to say, we canceled all the application. We are going to do another application, another round of application. Why? Because many people are applying at the same time. So number one is, if everybody is applying at the same time, you are going to apply and you are using your Airtel internet on your phone, and your phone is Tecno, not iPhone or Samsung high class. So without of the high speed, it ends up for you to be not reaching at the certain point, but not completely finished. That's number one. And number two is, so another mistake people are doing, they are going to fill the form. This is the form, okay? That form, if you are feeling like the name, date of birth, whatever, passport number, they leave the computer, they go to the room to find the passport. 10 minutes later, they come, oh, I have the passport number. They're going to put in the passport number. If you do take that long and leave the computer that way, you come click next, it disappears. You cannot be able to do. So number one, make sure when you're going to fill the form, you have the photos which meet the qualification, meet the standards. White background, the weight not exceeding 140 kilobytes. That's number one. Number two, don't fill the form for 50 minutes as if you are filling the university examination. The form is very simple. Your name, last name. You don't need to think about your name. You know your name. You know the spelling. Last name, first name, middle name, date of birth, place of birth, whatever marital status. All those kind of simple things you need to know to have them. You can fill that form within 5 to 10 minutes. You'll be done. More than 10 minutes, going to 15 minutes, is going to be having a delay. In previous years, there was a problem. That means if you fill the form now and it is submitted, when it's going through, it will give you the green words, success. And it will tell you the application has been completely successful, whatever. And here is the confirmation number over there. Print the confirmation number. I usually tell people, even if you don't have a printer, take a picture, take a screenshot of the screen. Don't write with your pen, because when you're writing up with your pen, you have a problem between 1 and I, 0 and O, whatever, all those kind of things, they can confuse you. Take a photo, take that photo, send it to your email. That will be one of the way, so that you cannot lose that number. But what if you lose the confirmation number? If you lose the confirmation number, don't panic. When the results are out, go there, fill the name, and click forgot the confirmation number to tell you to put the full name, the date of birth, the email address, and then they will send you the confirmation number. So that is something else. But another thing nowadays, which is very good, if you applied previously, when you applied and you come back to apply again, it was not saying that you have applied. But nowadays, if you go to apply again, it will tell you this information is already in the database. So if you go ahead to submit another application, they are going to warn you that is a duplicate application. You'll be deleted. You'll be disqualified. So previously, they didn't say anything. So if you're not so sure, try again to fill the form. It will tell you your data has already in the system. So don't submit. If you submit, that is a duplicate application. If you submit, you are going to be disqualified. So that is another good thing from last year's application is a new feature which has come here, which to help many people. So make sure that you do the single application. And if you make a mistake, let's say, for instance, your name, usually they start with last name, first name, and the middle name. Even if you put the mistake, you put the first name first, middle, or you made a mistake on the date of birth, whatever mistake you have done, because you put the passport number, don't go again and you try to put another application, because that will be a duplicate application. It is technical knockout, disqualification, out, finito, completely gone. And you will not be able to be even put, because once you apply, they are going to disqualify certain people and you are going to be put in the pool of the selection into the computer. So if you do the duplicate application, your photo has the whatever things don't qualify, you are going to be disqualified, even you are not going into the second round, which is just the round of selecting the winners. So be careful with what you are going to apply and what you are going to look forward to.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, that has been really helpful. And I saw somebody asking if my name is Daniel maybe Daniel, Jeff, something. We have 3 names or 2 names. So which one is my last name and which one is my first name? And I'm glad you answered that, because it shouldn't be a problem, like you said.
The name must appear as exactly as in the passport, not the names your friends call you, not the name which is your neighbor tell you is your name. The name will be there. The name is almost all the passports around the world, exception of few passports around some of the Arabic countries, they have different. But let me give you the example for the Africans. It will be surname. Surname is your last name. And then it will be given name. The given name, the first given name is your first name. The second given name is your second name. If on the surname you have 2 names, that means you have 2 last names. Put both of them. Most of the people in Latin America, they have 2 last names or 2 middle names.
2 middle names. Yeah, thank you so much. This has been really, really insightful, and I hope somebody that is following has got something. I see so many positive messages, which is really good. So after you have won the green card, you have gone through the medical tests, like what should somebody expect actually going to the interview? I hope I got that question too. Like, what are the questions, some of the questions to expect to be asked at the actual interview, and how long does it take?
And that question I answered yesterday on my video. I explained about what questions exactly are you going to expect and how long will the interview be. The interview, if you are single, 3 minutes maximum, 4, 5 max. If you are single, that will be the maximum interview will be. 5 minutes is a lot. If you have a family, 5, 8 minutes. Too much will be 10. This interview is vastly different from any interview of the US Embassy you will be able to see. Why? Because it's immigrant visa. Non-immigrant visa is the visa you are going to the US Embassy to get what we call to come to America on the temporary basis and then come back in your country. Even if in your head you are planning to stay there, but you are planning to go to America and to go back to your home country. That is non-immigrant visa. So at the US Embassy, you'll be expected to show a lot of evidences, show the money, show the farms, show even the right you have at your home, show any assets you have to prove that you come to your home country. But green card lottery is one of the easiest visa at the US Embassy you will ever experience in your entire life. Quote me on that one. Green card lottery visa interview is the easiest visa interview you will ever have in the US Embassy than any other type of visa. Why? Even if you are going for the other type of visa, like for you, you came as fiancé visa, you have to prove that, yes, you are going to marry this person. You have to prove this marriage is genuine. You have to put all this documentation. But the green card lottery, the documents, yeah, US government, you chose me. So what evidence do I have? You have just a letter, first notification letter. I have voted the DV lottery. So you don't have any other proof like, oh, this is my relative, I have DNA. Whatever. You don't need to prove anything. You have that one. It's just like a student. When you have I had a full $60,000 scholarship. Why are you going to study in America? Man, I got $60,000. They pay me even my ticket. I have reason to go. But you as US government, you selected me. You are going to give me a green card. Do you love America? Yes, I like America so much. That's my dream. They have no going to punish you to say you are planning to come to America. But if you are going for the non-immigrant visa, they ask you a question, do you like America? Oh man, I can't wait to go to LA, baby. No. Go back to Meru, go back to a village there and they start eating matoke. So why is this very easy? Because number one, they're going to do the following things at the US Embassy. When you reach there, give us the medical. Give the medical. Give us the police clearance report. Give them that police clearance report. That one. Then they have the barcode for the DS260. You give them. You have the photos which you required. You give them. Whatever the documents, you give them. Wait there. You wait. They'll call for the interview. The interview, what are they going to do? They want, first of all, to prove the fact that you are the person who really applied for the DV lottery. How do they do that? That's why Nowadays, they have the passport. If you use the old passport, now you have the new passport. Go with both passport. Then they will use, oh, so you are the same guy. No problem. That is cleared. Number two, that one will clear, yes, you are natural born from this country. You're eligible. The other question will be, what is your, I mean, they know you have DS 260. What is your education level? Oh, for me, I have bachelor degree. Where did you go? Oh, I went to Makerere University. Okay. What is the transcript? You show that transcript. Because KCC, Kentucky Consular Center, they don't require the education. They don't require education work experience. So at the US Embassy, they will need the education certification. These are my certificates. They look at them. Oh, so what do you do now? Oh, now I work as a teacher to wherever. Can you show us the evidence you are working? Oh, this is my bachelor degree as a teacher, and this is the letter I'm working, or this is the document of my contract. I'm working at this primary school, or I work at this secondary school. You are done. Oh, so where, I mean, they can ask you a question. Which part of America are you going to stay? Oh, I'm going to Missouri. So who is your host? Oh, it's Ernest Makulilo. Oh, okay. How do you know the person? Oh, you just met him on the internet. They don't care about that. As long as I'm not a terrorist, I'm not a drug dealer, I'm not whatever, that's what matters for them. That's all. Because you are not supposed to come to someone who can destroy America. That's all. There is no question like, oh, so will you come back to your home country? You are not coming, because if you come to America as a permanent resident, you are expected to be in America. If you go out of America, then why do you want to go out of America and stay over 6 months? Get permit from America with what we call advanced parole. If you're a green card holder and you are going out of America for 6 months to a year, you must get a permit from the government under what we call advanced parole, because you are permanent of America. You are no longer permanent of Ghana. You are no longer permanent of Nigeria. You are no longer permanent of Tanzania. You are owned by America. You see, that is the difference. So that's why the interview is easy. So the questions are to prove your work experience and education. And also will be like, where do you want to say, what are you going to do in America? If you go to America, what are you planning to do? Remember, any answer you answer on that question is valid answer. You say, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm planning to go to college. I do not know yet, but I'm thinking when I'm going there, I might maybe do issue banking. I want to start my business. As long as you are not going to say, I'm going to do a criminal activities, you are good, you'll be given the visa. And people are thinking that if I say I'm going to be a doctor, they'll be, so this is a nice person. They don't care about that. Because even if you're a doctor, even if your dream is to come here, American life, when you come here, is no joke. Will come here, will beat you down, you will start washing dishes, you will clean the toilets, you will work in the warehouse, you will work in the mall, you will work in the hotel, whatever. You will start at the bottom to grow up, no matter what education you have. Even if you have master's degree, even if you have PhD, your PhD, you come here, yes, it is good, but you don't just come here and you become a doctor today. Come here, you're becoming a manager today. You will start somewhere first on the general labor and go up in one way or another. So those are the things you need to know. So the interview will be the easiest interview, because the questions are not to make sure you come back to your country. The question is to prove that you are a legitimate person, you applied. Then if you applied, that's all. If you have if you have a family, they want to know if that marriage is your real marriage. If your children are these are your children, or just you go to the neighbor's children and do those are your children. Just simple like those one. No more questions. And if I can just quickly give something, there is one person just did the interview a few days ago, and he just shared some of the questions he was given, or some of the questions he was asked at the interview. So I can read some of them here. So the questions was, after setting the documents and everything, the question, he asked me 3 questions. Are you married? Do you have a child? Who is your host? Those were the main questions. But the question simple here, after good morning, good afternoon, wherever greeting they told him to raise the hand. Obviously, you have to take the oath. You have to swear. You have to also take the fingerprint. They asked some of these questions. The question, what's your name? Do you have a child? Are you married? The person is single. Where do you live right now? What do you do for a living? So the person said, I'm a teacher. Okay, show us the evidence you are a teacher, or this kind of things, or training. Can you prove that you are a teacher, or whatever, things of that nature? So for instance, the person was asked, why are you going to America? Obviously, I've won the DV lottery. I plan to excel in my life. Simple like those one. What is the level of education? Those are the level of education. What do you plan to do in America? Things of that nature. And that was the interview. The interview for this person was 4 to 5 minutes over. So they're simple question of that nature. So that's what I say is the easiest question. They're not going to check, okay, the bank statement. Why are you going to America? Whatever. No.
Okay.
I wanted the DV lottery. Simple.
Thank you so much. So as we wind up, I would like to know, of course, these are also questions that have previously been asked. How long does it take after I arrive in America and I'm at my host family? How long will it take me to actually receive my green card?
That depends. That's why I told you about the fee, the USCIS fee, the fee to get the actual card. That fee, you can pay even before coming to America. If you pay before coming to America, once you arrive in America, it can come within 3 to 4 weeks. But you don't need that actual card to start working. Once you come with that visa, it's immigrant visa. And no one is going to ask you for that actual card in a normal life. Because once you have the actual immigrant visa, you come to America, then after arriving here, you go to the Social Security. You give them a passport. They will see you have immigrant visa. They give you the Social Security. The Social Security, it is inside because, for instance, a student, Social Security of the student, they will write and to write your name to say with the authorization of DHS. Like you must need the work authorization by the Department of Homeland Security because you are limited number of hours and all this kind of thing. But the citizen in the green card doesn't have those kind of words because you are allowed to work to any employer how many hours. So once you apply the social, you are going to the system as a green card holder. So if you apply for any job, they will ask you, are you allowed to work? Yes, my social is this one. They do what you call the E-Verify. They will see you have green card. So don't need to have the actual green card to start working. And no one can ask even your actual card. Even for a year or 2 years, no one will be able to ask for that. You go to the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicle, to get either state ID or to get the driving license. You show your passport, which has that visa. And you have the social. They will run your social. You are good to go. You'll be given the... So that one, even if you don't get even for 6 months, your life will be able to continue. You'll be able to work. You'll be able to do anything like any other person with that card. This card means nothing unless otherwise you want to show off. Like, oh, I have the actual card. That visa is actual card.
Thank you so much. So as we wind up again, what is your advice to people that are looking forward to the results on Saturday 8th, and also those that have watched us and are going back to apply? What simple advice would you give them?
Okay, so my overall advice for people who are waiting for the DV lottery results, or those who didn't apply, or they're looking forward, they come to realize there is something called the DV lottery, check the results. If you are not a winner, which many of you will not be the winner, I don't want to be the carrier of the bad news because you are more than 8 million people have applied. They are going to get 130,000 winners. So obviously many will not be able to win. Remember, it is free of charge to apply for the DV lottery. Yes, you can come, oh, I paid $5 to go to the cyber cafe, whatever internet cafe. Yes, it's $5. Don't get upset with that. How many times you just go and do something else without the money? So remember, applications are free. You applied, you didn't win. So what? Right away, get ready for the October. October, there is another application. Even if this is your 10th time to apply, 10th year to apply, what if your 11th is your time? I know that some people that have applied the first time, they have won. Some people the third time, some people 11. I know the guy the 13th time, the person won. So don't lose hope. Continue to apply for the DV lottery as long as it continues to be there, as long as it's free. Continue to apply until they are going to take it away. You have nothing to lose. And even if you yourself, you don't plan to come to America, do this for your children. Once you win the green card lottery, you can win. You can come together, get the card, and go back to your country. And you can be coming here for vacation each year. But your kids, once they're older, finishing high school, they can come here and do anything like any other American instead of starting like struggling, fighting, looking for the visa even to go to Burundi. And they deny the visa to go to Burundi. Just taking this opportunity to look for this opportunity. That's number one. Number two, don't just focus on the DV lottery. There are other opportunities. Looking for education opportunities, looking for volunteering opportunities, looking for the conference opportunities, looking for the internship opportunities. All those kind of things are there. Try to find those information. That's my second advice. My third advice is, you don't need to be in America to have a very good life of your dream. Yes, your dream might be part of the things to be in America. I agree. I don't want to say this, oh, and EBM is saying it because he's already in America. No, I'm just trying to explain to this one. While you are looking for this opportunity to go to America, you don't need to stop your life. You need to continue to work hard. Do you need to continue to do like as if I will never go to America? If you want to, there is opportunity to start your farm in coffee or banana plants, or you start to want to set a kind of business. Do your business, study hard to get good GPA, get good score, finding good job, do good business, do anything as if green card is not there. If it happens, you come here, you're already a better person. But don't like get upset and complete like your entire life is shattered because it's just a lottery. Yes, it is a lottery. There are 7-8 million. What if you don't win? And the last advice I want to give to people is, don't to beat yourself. Don't be so much depressed. Don't be starting looking for what's wrong with me not being in a position to win. It just happened. There are how many countries in the world? Over 200 countries, but the World Cup, they want one winner. There are so many countries that have never played even one game of World Cup, but they have to play each year to qualify. So this is how it is. You don't win. Yes, maybe EBM failed to edit my photo correctly. Maybe because I wear the earring. Maybe because I look down. Maybe because I didn't get good grades on this one. Forget about those. Don't find any justification. If your photo was correctly, you have the family, you have everything, make sure that is good. You didn't win, get ready for the next application. And the last one is, if you are going to apply in the next lottery, don't put the wrong marital status. If you are married, put you are married. If you are single, put you are single. Don't start, oh, I'm single, but I'm putting my girlfriend as my wife or my husband, whatever. Forget those nonsense. That's number one. And last, the other part is, if you have children, put exactly number of children. But if so, I don't have the photo, or I'm upset with my wife or my husband, I don't put them. Make sure that you put them, because if you don't put them, you have children, you will regret that one, because the day you bring them up, the day that way they are going to deny you the visa and you will not be coming to America. And all the best, everyone who is waiting for the DV lottery results. Will be live here on that day. So if you are the winner and you want to be live here to celebrate live, you are so much welcome. We'll be able to send you the link if you're the winner, and you'll be able to see and enjoy together.
It's new for
Bring candy.
candy.
Hi, we had my co-host had to come in and check on you. Yeah, go get it.
Yeah, that is corruption. The candy corruption.
Oh, it is. Okay. So, Susie, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. We are praying for you to have to win tomorrow on Saturday. So keep tuning in. We shall actually also have a live stream. I don't know if you have subscribed to my channel. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel through the link, so that whenever we go live like this, you'll be able to see what is going on. Hi, Benita, Nikki. Thank you for joining. So thank you so much, EBM, for gracing this chat and sharing all this useful information for anybody that is looking into winning the DV lottery, looking for the requirements, where to get the website. Actually, I'm going to link the website in the description box after the end of the chat, so that when people come, they can check it through, because there are so many scam websites. Like EBM said, you don't want to be conned. This is a free lottery. You just enter free. If you win, good for you. If you don't win, that's okay. Try again every year, October. Try again if you're serious about it. And who knows, one day God will remember. One day you'll win. One day you'll get the confirmation. So yeah, So that's it for today. Or did you have anything else you want to conclude with, or we can end the live stream?
No, I just want to say thank you for everyone who has been able to support our channels. Please remember to share, even if maybe there is a particular video you don't like the content wise, like maybe you don't look for Green Card Lottery. There are other information, share with others. Just forward the information, other people can be able to discover and learn something from us. So.
Yes, that's true. Just share the information. Subscribe to EBM Scholars. Let me make sure you can see the name. Let me see. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe to EBM Scholars and also subscribe to my channel for more useful information like this. Okay, so we have to end the live stream now. Go prepare dinner. Probably EBM will have so many live streams or videos coming up on his channel.
Yeah, I have to go first because it's already 1. I have
okay. All right. So thank you again for joining, and we will see you in the next video. So you are free to leave. All right, guys, thank you so much, those that have joined in for this great discussion. We have had a good time chatting with people, answering all your questions, and also giving you hope just to share with you guys what to expect when your results come out, DV Lottery 2022. So if you applied last year, this is the person we're talking to right now. So results are coming on Saturday, and I'm just saying good luck to each and every one of you that applied, and we hope you succeed. I mean, we hope you win. And if you don't win, go back and apply again in October. It's not too bad. Keep applying. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything to keep applying. So thank you again for joining me today on the chat. I'll see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.